where are you in the stage of your product? Because in the very early stages, when you maybe don't have that many users yet, and most of the users that you have are, they're power users, or there's people who are very, very dedicated to your product, then actually change might be perceived as a good thing. In the early days of Facebook, we started out as a college network. And so that meant that all of our users were college students. And so we would change things up all the time. We would add new features. We would, redesign this and that, and people loved it. And a lot of times it was because we were very good at predicting, what might be a better thing for them. And since they're college students, they're very used to trying new technologies out. They all got on Facebook, so we knew that they were early adopters. And so those types of users tend to be very open and in a lot of cases excited about change, excited about new features, excited about improvements. They're willing to invest the time to understand why is this better, and why did you do this? And in fact, often they're very appreciative. But what happened is, as Facebook grew, we started to move away from the early employee base, and it started to be people who came on. Maybe they were late adopters to technology, or maybe they weren't. They just got on because everybody that they knew was on the service, and so it started to become the reaction that we started to get to change became more and more negative, because when you have tens of millions or hundreds of millions or billions of people on a particular service, then we have to manage change exceedingly carefully, because it's no longer okay for us to go in and change some stuff up, because we're just breaking tens of millions or hundreds of millions of people's muscle memory, to your point. And so for us, it started to become a bigger process of trying to understand, okay, how can we still create a funnel where maybe in the early days when we're testing this new change, it might be something that users opt into. And all of those people who are really excited, early adopters, want to try out the new thing, can go and play with this and give us their feedback, and we can, understand how they're using it. We can, do data analysis on what they're using to help us determine whether this change is good or not. Then when we're really, really confident that this is a good change, we start into, call it, how do we roll out and phase out the execution? And oftentimes what we do is we try and break up this big change into as many smaller changes as possible, oftentimes over, a couple of months, or maybe even half a year. And the reason we do that is because every time a change happens, then it doesn't feel like, oh my God, everything is different. It's like, oh, this one thing is, and then next week is other subtle thing is. And we want to get to the point where it maybe, the UI has to evolve, right? Because we always find ways to make it better. So we can't be stuck in a position where it's impossible to make changes. But at the same time, we want to be thoughtful and make it so that it's as least taxing as possible for people. So it doesn't feel like one day we arranged all the things on your desk, and now we're trying to help you figure out how to do the thing that you normally used to do, and that was very well memorized.